Can't talk, he can't walk, can't find his way off a stage.
It's clear that when he lost in 2020, something literally snapped in the sky.
Did you know the US employs a unique electoral system in which the president isn't directly elected by the people? Well, I'm Abdul Hai, and this is Bite Sized, where we try to break down the complex into digestible pieces. And today, we're going to be talking about the US's Electoral College. Now, unlike most democracies in the land of the free, a mere 270 electoral votes derived from the US's 340 million plus population are enough to secure a presidential candidate the keys to the White House. Right. As you know, in most countries, presidents are elected based on popular votes, meaning the candidate with the most electoral votes becomes president. Well, the US does things a little differently. They call this system the Electoral College, where a group of people known as electors are selected to elect the president and vice president of the United States. Confusing, right? I know, let me explain. This system was established after the Constitutional Convention of 1787, 11 years after the creation of the US to create a balanced representation of citizens from populous and less populous states in Congress. But how is this representation determined? Well, strap up, because here's where things get a bit numerical. 538 electors across the US are appointed to represent their state in Congress. The number of electors varies based on each state's population. For example, California, the most populous state, has 54 electoral votes, while Wyoming, one of the least populous, just has 3. Now, how are the 538 electors formed, you'd ask? Well, the US Congress has a total of 535 seats. Each state is allocated 2 senators regardless of the population, totaling 100 senators across the US's 50 states. Then there are 435 seats in the House of Representatives, apportioned according to the population of each state based on the decennial census. Finally, despite not being a state, Washington, D.C. is allocated 3 seats, as provided by the 23rd Amendment to the Constitution, bringing the total number of electors to 538, which corresponds to the combined number of seats in the Congress. Why does it always have to be complicated with the US?
Houston, we have a problem.
Well, moving on. Here is the crucial point. To secure presidency, a candidate must collect more than half of the total electoral votes, meaning the first candidate to reach 270 out of 538 becomes president. Most states use a winner-takes-it-all system, which means that the candidate who gets the most votes in a state wins all the electoral votes from that state. But there's a catch. Most states clearly lean either Republican or Democratic. However, there are certain states that don't align with either party, which lands us comfortably in what the US called swing states, aka battleground states, where the electoral tug-of-war takes place. Since winning a state means sweeping all its electoral votes, swing states become focal points for candidates. States such as Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania play a pivotal role in Electoral College, as their votes often decide the winner of the election. Which is why presidential candidates conduct most of their campaigning, fundraisers, election rallies, and advertisement in those states in a bid to convince undecided voters to vote for them. Now, the Electoral College has shaped presidential outcomes twice in the last 20 years. In 2000, George Bush won with 271 electoral votes, despite losing the popular vote to Al Gore. And more recently, in 2016, Donald Trump won 304 electoral votes, despite Hillary Clinton winning more popular votes. Now, it hasn't always been sunshine and rainbows for the Electoral College, because since its inception, there have been over 700 attempts in Congress to address the unconventional electoral system, ranging from proposals to fix it, reform it, or even abolish it. Well, all failed. Critics argue that the Electoral College can override the popular vote and favor swing states, while others see it as undemocratic and say it neglects states that aren't considered swing states. At the end of the day, however, it remains a cornerstone of US elections, driving candidate strategies and voter engagement across the nation. And that, folks, is the US's not-so-complex Electoral College. So how do you think this year's results would look, with the US poised for what could be one of the most important elections in its history?
Ready? You have the cameras rolling?
Come on! We're America!